Okay, so where are you logging in from?
I am in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So not too far. I'm in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the Be Your Own Coach Challenge check-in. Um, Thank you, like I said before, thank you for coming. We're going to, I'm going to start off just by introducing myself. I know you said you worked with me before, but just a brief introduction. So my name is DeAnn Day, and I'm a professional certified life coach. I've been certified for 7 years now through the International Coaching Federation. And I have a background in social work and education. And in those roles, most of my roles require me to help my students or my clients identify like goals that they want to accomplish or just realizing their potential and then identifying goals that they work toward accomplishing. So I am very passionate about helping people accomplish their goals, whether it's like a weight loss goal or like an emotion management goal or like it don't even matter. I just, as long as I can help people impact their lives or change their lives in a positive way or help them get to the next level, that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm passionate about. And so um, during my life coaching journey, one of the skills I learned was the skill of self coaching. And once I practiced self coaching and was able to see the impact that it was having on me, like my life, positive changes were occurring. And so then I wanted to teach it to other people because having a coach is amazing. Like having a coach helps you get to even that next level of like progress or achievement. But like being able to coach yourself, there's something magical about it because your coach ain't always gonna be with you. Right. So whenever any type of situation comes up, if you have the skill or you know how the process of trying to coach yourself, no matter when it's happening, when you need it, that I feel like that's a skill that I just want everyone to have. So I am um, doing this challenge, right?
Okay.
And basically the challenge is for us to kind of practice that skill, learn that skill. The check-ins are for us to kind of motivate each other. And then we'll take time to journal because the self-coaching piece comes in like the journaling piece. So in regards to self-coaching and me trying to teach this skill to people, I've offered webinars, which you mentioned that you attended the Ghost Your Anger webinar.
hmm
And then I've done workshops and I've done podcasts. I have a podcast now called Be Your Own Coach, where I'll like go over like a coaching concepts and then like encourage you to take a challenge for the week to just like try out the concept for a week or for the month or however you want to do it. So that's what the podcast is looking like. And so now I'm offering this challenge. And the purpose of the challenge, like I said, is to help us get in the habit of thinking through questions that can help us overcome challenges that typically hold us back so that we can take action toward like facing our fears or like whatever it is that's keeping us from making progress, we can start to face it and move forward. And some common challenges that I see like in working with my coaching clients is that they might be experiencing like fear might be holding them back or they might be like avoiding things because maybe they have anxiety or they're feeling overwhelmed or they're just confused and they're not moving forward because of that or there's a lot of self-doubt going on, or maybe there's disorganization or procrastination or issues with time management. So during this challenge, I'm inviting you to identify one goal that you want to focus on. And then when you receive the self-coaching prompts that I'm going to be sending out, you can kind of answer the questions maybe with that goal in mind. And these check-ins will be used for accountability, for sharing, so we can share our progress with each other. We can encourage each other. we can, ask questions. And the check-ins are going to be weekly, but they're also optional. And I will be recording them so that if you're not able to make it, you can still participate in it. You can kind of play it and participate in it, whenever you have the time. And uh, so any thoughts or any questions about the challenge or what you can expect or anything like that?
Not so far. No.
All right. So what I'm gonna get into next is I know I talk a lot about like self-coaching and being your own coach. So I kind of want to talk a little about what that even means or what is it. So when I think of self-coaching, I'm thinking of like basically us managing our minds. And we're managing our minds by becoming more aware of what it is we're thinking in the first place and how those thoughts are impacting us. And then we start to think more intentionally, right? So thinking in a way that is going to help us achieve what we're trying to achieve instead of hold us back from achieving it. And so here listed on the screen, you'll see some things that life coaches typically help you with. So as we're coaching ourselves, these are the things that we are going to be doing. We're basically just going to be doing what life coaches do, but we're taking time out to do it with ourselves. So life coaches will help you clarify your goals. So some of the questions that I might ask when I'm sending out these coaching prompts might help you clarify your goals. Because sometimes people might make a goal like, oh, I want to get more healthy, but that's not clear. Like, what does that even mean? Because healthy could mean a whole bunch of different things. So for me, I want to get healthy, but I want to get healthy by like working out 5 times a week and cutting out sugar and flour from my diet. And so when you get clear, it's like now I have a more specific things in mind that I need to do because healthy could mean anything. Healthy could be like, I just want to take vitamins every day, So just getting really clear on the goals. And then we, life coaches focus on self exploration, awareness, and mind management. So the questions that I'm going to be sending out are going to kind of help you dig deeper into yourself, explore yourself, figure out what it is you're thinking, become more aware of how you're thinking, aware of how different things impact you, and then managing your mind around that. Because mind management, in my opinion, is the key. Like the way we think causes the results that we create in our lives. So if we're thinking negatively, if we're thinking unuseful thoughts, then we're going to have results in our lives that we don't want. But when we start thinking more intentionally, we can manage our mind, we become more aware of things that trigger us or things that keep us back, then we can start problem solving for those things and move and be able to move forward in a more intentional way. And so coaches help you identify and modify problematic thinking or problematic behaviors that might hold you back. So once we're able to identify those things, then like I said, we can problem solve for them, right? And then start to make changes and tweak what we're doing so that we can get more of the results that we want. So the questions I'm going to be sending will kind of help you take a look at the different actions that you're taking, why you might be taking those actions, if those actions are useful or not, what's causing you to take those actions. It's just having you think deeply about what you're doing and why you're getting the result that you are getting so that you can figure out how you want to move forward. And then coaches also empower choice and and make sure that you're or help you to make sure that you're taking actions that are actually in alignment with the goals that you have for yourself. Right. So that's some things that we're going to be looking at. Like the questions that I ask will be having you make sure like the action you're taking is actually working in alignment with your goal instead of having you moving in the opposite direction. And then you'll discover a potential and perform at a higher level. And a lot of the questions, like a lot of times when you take time to sit down and just answer questions, you'll notice that like initially, if I say, well, why do you want to do this program? And then you might say, give me some surface level answer. But when you take time to think even deeper, or you take more time to think, you'll get like an even deeper answer that is more meaningful to you. And that kind of might even drive you more. Right. So that's what I want you to do with all the questions. Like, really give yourself time so that you can think, get that service level answer out, but then try to get underneath the surface and see what else is there. And then coaches help you design the life that you want to have, to be able to create the life you want to have for yourself. And that's what we're going to be doing through coaching ourselves, answering these questions, meeting up, inspiring each other, encouraging each other, talking about setbacks, and just all of it. So that's what will come from everything that we're going to be doing. In 100 days is a long time, but it's also a short amount of time. Like it's a short term, like in the grand scheme of things, 100 days, having a goal that you want to work on for 100 days is kind of like a short term goal. And it's a short amount of time, but it's a long enough amount of time to have some real impact. And I've done the 100 days challenge on myself like a couple different times. And I feel like I've had so much progress that that's why I want to open it up and do it with other people. Um, so I'm excited to see like the what comes of it, like what we accomplish together with supporting each other in this next 100 days. And so this is just a list of all the questions. I'm not sure exactly what day or when you joined the challenge. Did
I've
you
been doing it
join
since
right
day
at?
one.
Oh, okay. So you got all the questions in. So
Mm-hmm.
these are all the questions that I sent out on day one. So if you like didn't get to answer them all, or if you want to screenshot or whatever, just have the questions. I have them here. But in my opinion, the simplest way for us to coach ourselves is just like I said, to think through the questions that we might not normally be asking ourselves.
Yeah.
And this is why I decided to offer the challenge, where I'm offering daily questions for you to think through, and while you focus on taking actions toward this goal. So during this process, you may notice thinking patterns that you might have, like when it comes to certain things. And once we become aware of different thinking patterns, like when I say thinking patterns, I mean like, okay, maybe you want to, I don't know, start your own business. Oh, maybe you want to be a coach. Okay. So then your brain might tell you, like, try to talk you out of it. Like, whenever you have the thought about being a coach, or whenever that idea comes to your mind, you might notice that you have negative thoughts. Your brain tells you negative things, trying to discourage you from becoming a coach, right? You're not
Right.
qualified. You don't know what it takes, this and this and that. Your brain might tell you certain things. So that's a thinking pattern. Like, whenever you have a thought about an ideal or a goal that you're considering, your pattern is that you're having negative thoughts and your brain is trying to talk you out of it. So now that you're aware of this thinking pattern, you can try to work like you like that's your go-to thinking pattern, but it don't, just because your brain is telling you that, it don't mean
It
it's
doesn't
true.
mean it's true.
Exactly. It don't mean it's true
Gotcha.
at all. So then you can kind of work and have more positive thoughts like, maybe I should be a coach. I can be trained. I can learn how to do it. I can use this challenge to help me out. You see how like it shifted from you can't do it to maybe it could be a possibility. And so you can kind of, once you notice a negative thinking pattern, you can try to shift it and change it into a thinking pattern that's going to be more useful and more helpful for you. And so sometimes answering these questions can get you like, you know, becoming more aware of how your brain is working, and then trying to think more intentionally so it works more in your favor. All right. So, okay. So do you have a goal in mind already that you want to work on
Yes.
for this challenge? Okay.
So
Go ahead.
the goal that I chose, like I did say I wanted to, incorporate new habits. But
Mhm.
the biggest goal that I was like, I want to focus on is making sure that I blog weekly. So
Okay.
like last month in August, my goal was to do like 21 days of creating, just however I could, whether it was me creating a blog, dropping a vlog video on TikTok or Instagram, like just something creative, just to get myself back in that flow. And I actually dropped like at least 2 to 3 blog posts every week versus the one. And so like I was telling myself, like, I have a habit of getting in that energy and then it'll just flop. And so I was like, okay, well, that's something I want to make myself be consistent with, because I do want to be consistent with my blogging anyways. So
Okay. So blogging more consistently. What's the name of it?
it's called The Safest Space.
The Safest Space?
Yeah, THEE.
The
Safest Space.
the
Mm-hmm.
safest space. Okay. So that's a beautiful goal. My goal is a health goal. It's kind of what I mentioned before. Is I want to lose weight, and I want to do it by working out 5 times a week, and I want to cut sugar and flour out of my diet. I definitely want to cut sugar and then like reduce the amount of flour, like carbs and stuff. It don't have to be no carbs, but I just want to reduce it because I'm trying to avoid having health issues. And so that's
Gotcha.
why, yeah, so that's why this is a pretty important goal to me. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. I'm going to be focusing on getting my workouts in and doing some meal planning and trying to keep like cut back on carbs and keep that sugar out of my body. Because right now I seem to be addicted to it.
And we are.
So yeah, so that's what I'll be focusing on. So that's pretty cool. And I'll probably check in with you because I'm not doing weekly podcast, I'm doing bi-weekly. So I can we can like when you're sharing about your blog, I can give you an update on like did I do my podcast or not?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
that's I need to be more consistent with that. That's something I haven't been consistent with. So
I'm
yeah.
also like, because being more active is a thing too, because I'm on a weight gain journey. So I've been like making sure I'm consistently having my smoothies and things of that sort. But I created like a little home workout, and I keep telling myself, like, I was doing it for 1 week, but like I said, I get a week going, then I fall off. So I feel like that's also something we can hold each other accountable with as well. Just like, did you get your workouts in this week? But I
Yeah.
will say, if you can't do 5, and
Uh-huh.
if you can at least do 3 to 4, that's what matters. And working out at home counts too, and those
Okay.
walks.
Okay. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Thank you. I love that. I feel like this is working out how I wanted to because it's all about supporting each other, encouraging each other. And we've already found ways, like we got different goals that we want to do for the challenge, but we have similar goals outside and we found ways to
Mm-hmm.
support each other because we have goals that are similar. So I love that. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right. The
Thank
next thing
you.
I want to, yeah, of course. The next thing I want to do is I'm not sure if you're familiar with the slight edge. But if you are, if you aren't, either way, I want us to like, there's this about 5 minute video that I want to introduce us to the concept of the slight edge. Because it's a great concept for us to be considering while we're working toward these goals. So let's take a minute to the slight edge is actually a book that was written, and this is just like a 5 minute kind of animation describing like what the slight edge is. And then,
Mm-hmm.
so let's be thinking of how we can apply that to these goals that we want to be accomplishing. And then afterwards, we'll have time. I have some questions that we can take time to journal. So we'll have some time to actually journal answering the questions about the slight edge and how we can apply the concept to what we're doing, to our
Okay.
goal. All right. So let me make sure my volume is turned up. If you can't hear it, like say something, but I think you'll be able to. Okay, hold
I hear it fine.
on. Okay.
Do you ever have a choice between a glass of soda or a glass of water, and you pick the soda because, well, if you have a glass of soda today, it's not like you're going to wake up overweight and unhealthy tomorrow. That's basically how we all like to think, that somehow success only comes from doing huge, important things right. You're going to only buy kale for your house at some point and become ultra healthy, but until then, it's not like drinking this one soda will all of a sudden make you this unhealthy person in one day. So you have this big paradox. On one hand, you're right, the little decision doesn't really matter. This one decision won't really affect your health in any significant way. But on the other hand, it's really the only thing that matters, because in a year, you'll be the result of your every little decision compounded. So in essence, every little decision matters. And these little things are easy to do. When you're on your lunch break tomorrow, you can make the choice to drink water instead of soda. Anyone is capable of doing that. But since it's easy to do, it's also easy not to do and just order the soda. But what if you decide to do this little thing right? You won't be any healthier the next day, but after a year of drinking water instead of soda every lunch, you would see huge health benefits from it. And you can apply this to anything. What if you just read 10 pages of a good book every night before you go to bed? Anyone could do that. That's a pretty easy thing to do. But since it's pretty easy to do, it's also pretty easy to just ignore it and not do it. If you read 10 pages tonight, it's not like you will wake up this smart, enlightened person tomorrow. But what about a year from now? That's like 15 books. 15 good books could literally turn you into a completely different person. What if you do this for 4 years at college while everyone else around you doesn't read the 10 pages, because it's not like they're going to be any better the next day? That's like 60 books. 60 good books could put you ahead of every single one of your friends, whether that be related to finances, relationships, or just overall happiness. So again, you have this paradox. On one hand, you can fall for the unsuccessful mindset of, well, it's not like this little decision matters, but in reality, the little decisions that we make is all that matters. Every little decision of yours will be compounded at the end of the year, and who you are will be the result of it all. Now, here's the thing. I think it's just human and okay to indulge in things. I do it all the time. It's not like I'm this little robot who does everything quote-unquote right. But I'm at least more aware of how I think about the little things. I have a vision of who I want to be in a year. And I ask myself with every little decision, is this going to move me closer to that person or not? And the answer isn't always yes, but at least I'm aware of it, and at least I try to align more of my little decisions with that vision. And the more I can answer yes, the more I realize that I'm closer to being that person at the end of the year. But the surprising realization for me has been how many times the answer is no. No, this isn't moving me to where I want to be in a year. And this is perhaps the most important lesson of the slight edge. A huge lesson of taking responsibility for where you are in your life. When you get to the end of the year and you're unhealthy, having been conscious about all your little decisions will at least make you realize why you're unhealthy. You're no longer going to blame your poor health on how your job didn't pay you enough to eat healthy. You're going to realize that it's because you decided to buy the soda over the free water every single day at lunch. It's because you decided to buy the more expensive bag of cookies instead of buying the cheaper bananas every time you went shopping.
Okay, any thoughts that come up after seeing that video? Have you heard of that, the concept of the slight edge before?
I have not, but
Oh,
after hearing this concept, it's just like, it's just really like, I don't know, like life is hitting me full circle right now, because I feel like maybe 3 weeks ago is where I had my moment where I was like, okay, girl, you gotta take responsibility for where you at. You can't keep blaming everybody. Like, this is your life that you're living, and you're here for your own reasons as well. So to hear this and to be like in a space where I am starting to notice, like, even just the smallest decision,
mhm.
can have something to do with where you're going. I'm like, wow. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this is just you know. So this is a good concept though. Like, because like you said, every day you might think like, yeah, I could just have soda today, it won't matter. Or you're like, okay, just one drink today, but then one drink today and one drink tomorrow and one drink the next day. You don't realize like you had a drink every day. Or, like it's just little things like that that just like, I don't know, this actually does. Like, I'm starting to see like, okay, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. This is a video that I like to watch like regularly. I mean, not every day, but like every once in a while I like to just watch it. Just as a reminder that every little thing, like just choosing between juice and water, or for me, because I want to try to avoid sugar, like choosing between something with sugar in it or something without. Over time, that's going to help my
Listen,
health. What?
this is what you do when you're
Okay,
trying to
what?
decide between sugar and something else. Because I
Uh-huh.
used to have this, like I sometimes get a sweet tooth, but I don't really like candy because once I eat too much candy, my stomach hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Fruit and honey. Get you some fruit, like whatever your favorite fruits are. Make you like a cute little bowl. Put you some honey on it. Let it sit in the fridge for a couple of seconds. It creates like a nice little fruity syrup with it, and the fruit is also sweetened just enough that your sweet tooth will be solved right there, and that's healthy.
Yeah, it'll be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. And smoothies, like if you want some ice cream, blend you up some fruit and like some apple juice or something.
I'm gonna try.
And
I do love
those,
smoothies too.
yeah, those things, acai bowl, like fruit. I'm telling you.
I know I've noticed because I've tried to stop the sugar before. And when you're not eating sugar and then you have some fruit and it's like, this tastes almost like candy. It's like it's super sweet and it tastes
Because
really
it
good.
has the natural sugars that we need, but because we so used to what they put in everything, we don't realize it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, fruit and honey, you're gonna be like candy.
Okay, so thanks for sharing and thanks for that advice. I'm gonna take that advice too. I appreciate that. So next I have some questions that I would like for us to take maybe about 10 minutes to answer. You can answer
Okay.
them all. You can do what makes you feel best. So you can answer each of these questions, or you could really focus in on one or two of them, or you could just jot down some thoughts you're having from just watching this video. But basically, the questions are: how does the concept of the slight edge change the way you think about achieving your goal for this challenge? The next question is: the slight edge emphasizes that small, seemingly insignificant choices can either work for or against you, and how do you plan to avoid choices that take away from your goal? And then the last one is: in what ways can you remind yourself to stay patient and trust the process, even when the results of your efforts aren't immediately visible? So I will give us about 10 minutes. And remember, try not to rush through. Remember, I said when we take time and really think deeply through the questions, then
Mm-hmm.
that's when we can tap into some maybe next level answer and get past just the surface level. So that's why I'm giving us about 10 minutes, because we probably don't need it, but if we take longer, we might get to another level of thinking that could help us. So any questions? I'm gonna play some little soft music while we do this. And then we can go ahead and get started. And then we can come back and share. We can come back and share if we want. Alrighty.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, Mom. Okay. So, would you like to share? Tell me what you did. Did you answer all the questions, one of the questions, or just jot down notes about something else?
So I actually answered them all,
Okay.
but I answered the second one last.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was that hard? Did it seem hard? And you was like, I don't know, let me get back to that one.
Um, it wasn't really that. It's just the way my brain processed the questions. It was like the second one was like it was like don't be so surface, I guess. Like
Okay.
let's go a little deeper maybe, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so are you interested in sharing? I don't mind sharing. I'll share my answer to the first one, and then if you want to share, you can share yours after. So, to the first one. So, it's
Okay.
how does the concept of the slight edge change the way you think about achieving your goal for this challenge? And I put that it had me think of not like the overall goal of like not having sugar and working out like basically 5 times a week, but just in the moment making small decisions. So not thinking of never having sugar again. This is gonna be so hard. I'm never gonna be able to have sugar again. I don't think I can do it. And then I go out and I have some sugar. But instead, it's like in the moment when it's time to grab something to drink or grab something to eat, just focusing on making the best possible decision in that moment instead
Mm-hmm.
of like freaking out about, oh my God, I can never have an Oreo again, you know. So that's how I answered that one, just breaking it down into like, so it feels easier for me to focus on um making small decisions than the big decision to never have it, you know. So that's what I put. Do you want to share your?
Okay. Yeah. I said the slight edge reminds me to be intentional with my actions, but to also grant myself grace in moments where I may not make the quote unquote best choice. It also encourages me to look at the glass half full, reminding myself that the ultimate goal of every decision is to get me closer to the life I desire to live. But to not, like to still give myself grace. Like
Yeah,
one is just one decision. It's like, okay, I know I made this decision and it might not have been the best. So what did I learn from this? And move that way. And it also encourages me to take accountability, be aware, but also to practice being present as well so that I don't miss moments.
and remembering that the like not beating yourself over for the one decision.
Yeah.
But then if you keep making that one decision over and over and over again, like
Right. That's when it's like, okay,
be
girl, be
accountable. Yeah,
accountable.
yeah.
Like
Just
you know
own it.
what's going on.
Like I
Yep.
decided to have donuts every single day, and that's why. That's why I'm in this situation, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and something I wanted to also piggyback off when you said like, oh, I can't have this Oreo.
Uh,
Um, so I've been in this space where because I do have a negative thought. Like I used to. I don't claim it anymore. But I used to have like a very bad habit of, negative thoughts just really taking up my mind. And I came across this TikTok where this girl was like, instead of saying things like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to go to work today. But like, I am so happy that I have a job that's going to pay me to show up just to, help them do some stuff. Like to look
yeah,
at things that way. So instead of being like, oh my gosh, I can't have this, or it'll be like, oh my gosh, I get to have the best smoothie ever
yeah. Or
with this, like,
oh my gosh, I still get to have I'm not having this Oreo, but I still get to have things that I enjoy and that really give me that satisfy my sweet tooth.
yeah.
Yeah. It
Or
satisfies
even
my sweet tooth and it's healthy for me.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can't have that bad sugar. But like when you start something, it's like, oh, I can't have that bad sugar. It's like, wait, do I really want bad sugar?
Yeah. And do you even want it anyway? Like, do you want
Right. You start
the
tricking yourself into thinking like, actually that Oreo is the bad sugar, but this apple, it's the good stuff right here.
yeah. Okay, so number two, The slight edge emphasizes that small, seemingly insignificant choices can either work for or against you. How do you plan to avoid choices that take you away from your goal? And for me, I put like just being prepared, like doing some meal prepping, keeping snacks, keeping healthy snacks with me. So that way, if I, sometimes they might have donuts at work or different things.
Mhm.
Like if I have healthy snacks with me while everyone's having a donut, I can go grab my snack and then have that instead. Or just finding alternative foods that give you that same sweetness or satisfaction, but it's more healthy for you. And then I also said that I could plan my workouts, like being strategic about when I plan them and making sure I'm giving myself more times, because sometimes I've missed workouts, but it's like I wasn't really giving myself more time. I was trying to cram it in. And when I made my schedule, the workout wasn't the priority. It's like I squeezed it in and then didn't do it because there wasn't time. So just like making it more of a priority and being more strategic and scheduling myself when I'm going to be more likely to actually show up. Or instead of going to the gym, do it at home, because the travel time, like it takes less time to drive there, drive back. You can just do it in the living room real quick and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
So those are some ways that I'm going to try to make sure that I avoid, making the decisions that keep pull me further away from my goal.
Okay. Well, yeah, see, so I think that's why I did number 2 last, because for me, like number 2 and 3, I was kind of like put them together in a
Uh-huh.
way.
Okay.
So, like for me, I know like because I am in a space of reshaping my mind and just like redirecting my goals and getting serious about my goals. Like I know the goal is to move with intention, and with moving in intention and keeping like my end goal in mind, I'm able to discern like, mm, if I make this choice, what might happen, or if I make this choice, what might be the outcome. But also allowing myself to know, like in the moments that I might make a choice that doesn't necessarily align, everything happens for a reason. So what is the lesson in this?
Mm-hmm.
But because I know like my main goal is to stick to like blogging, but also like eating healthy and working out and stuff. Like I feel like those things are what helps me blog, because it gets my brain flowing. So it's like I know I have to be intentional with those things in order to keep going with blogging. But also with blogging, I like to make sure that like in the morning, not only do I now do this program, but I'm doing prompts, like different journaling prompts for inner child healing, decluttering my life, meeting the inner teenager in me, just so that I could address the different things that might bring forth the negative thoughts that stop me from wanting to blog throughout the day. And then like every night, I'm making sure that I write about my day and what I'm grateful for, so that like, because in the midst of me doing some of those things, I've come across things that's like, oh, girl, this might be a good blog post right here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like one that I'm working on right now is like a lot of people, like I don't have a job right now. So a lot of people when they in this time, like in this season, they call it the waiting season. And I used to think that too, but then I'm like, when you're waiting, you literally just sitting around, you're not doing nothing. And I don't really think that gets you anything. Like I've noticed every waiting season I sat around, I did nothing. I ended up back in the same waiting season again. And so I'm like, maybe it's not a waiting season. Maybe it's a self-development season. But I wouldn't know these things if I wasn't in this space of doing all this journaling and taking this like course and, just doing things that's like being intentional
Yeah.
to get me out of a space that I'm in. So like, I think that's the one thing that like the slight edge has also showed me is like, as long as I stay like, for me, it's like confirmation. It's like, girl, you're on the right path. You just keep doing these things you've been doing, you'll be okay.
Yeah. Keep keep taking one step at a time
Hmm.
and make sure that each step is in the right direction.
But also, don't beat yourself up just because you might make one wrong step,
Yep.
because it's always easy to get back in line. Like
Yep.
that's one thing I'm learning. It's way easier to get back in line when you ain't beat yourself up. And if you beat yourself up, it's kind of hard to get back in that line.
It is. And
So
also, if you do take some steps in the direction that you're not necessarily wanting to go in, what you'll find or what you can try to do is try to get back on the right path quicker. So like normally you might get off the wrong path and be there for like 10 days. But like if you get off the wrong path and you're only there for 3 days, ooh, that's a big improvement. Like you making progress. You was off on the right path, but you didn't stay gone that long. You know what I mean? And that
Right.
counts too. Yep. Okay, so the last one. In what ways can you remind yourself to stay patient and trust the process, even when the results of your efforts aren't immediately visible? And I talked about the fact that how I use I have like a calendar and I put stickers on it. So like so for this challenge, I'll get a sticker. I'll get like one type of sticker on the calendar if I had no sugar that day, and another type of sticker if I did my workouts. And so for me, that's a visual reminder because I got this calendar hanging up. I know what it represents. I know the calendar is there because I'm trying to collect stickers. And then those stickers kind of remind me, oh, I want to get another sticker today for no sugar. I want to get both my stickers today. So I'm gonna work out and do you see what I'm saying? So it's like a
Yeah.
visual reminder that I have these goals. And then it's also like the goal is broken down to getting a sticker for working out or a sticker for um having no sugar. And then another way that I said that I could remind myself is by watching the Slight Edge video. Like sometimes it just kind of brings me back to like it's just about making this decision in the moment. Like it kind of it probably it simplifies everything for me.
Yeah.
And then asking myself, like, is it better to stop and give up or keep going? Like if I'm not getting the results that I want, so if I'm not losing the weight that I want to lose, is it gonna be better to stop working out and start eating the sugar again? Like, is that what you want to do? Or do you just want to deal with the fact that you might not be seeing the results that you're wanting to get, but knowing that this is what my body needs and just doing it anyway, even though the scale might not be moving, or even though the clothes are still fitting a little tight? At the end of the day, the decision to do this is the best decision. What's the best decision? So those are just some things that I came up with.
Okay. Okay. Um. well. Well. One of the things that I do, like I said, along with like the journaling at night, and keeping a gratitude journal in addition to my daily night journal, I also keep a gratitude box. And in the gratitude box, I'll just kind of like keep a date. Like I'll date it. And I might write down like if something exciting happened or like just something I'm grateful for, like just different things that have happened so that I could put it in the box. And then that way, if I ever have a moment where I'm like, life is not, a down moment, I could go back in the box and I'm like, girl, but this happened, but this happened. Like, for example, yesterday I went to a random pop-up in Chicago for I don't know if you know him, but his name is G Herbo. He's a rapper from here. But I've been listening to him since I was younger. Like he's my age. And I went to the pop-up shop because he was like having an album release he did an album release, but he also had a clothing line to go with the album. And he actually ended up having a listening party later. And I didn't have any clue about it. However, I ended up in the listening party and I got to meet him and I got a video with him. And it's crazy though, because like I wrote down that I wanted to meet him maybe like last month. And I was just like, wow. To do it was like, wow. So like those are things that I keep in my gratitude box. So it's like just reminding myself that like one, I'm in spaces that I used to pray to be in. And so like because I'm in these spaces, like because seeing him and meeting him and just like hearing the things that he's talking about and he's doing, that also was encouraging. I'm like, oh, that's another blog thing I could blog about. Like just had the creative juices just flowing. I'm just like, Joya, these. Like I feel like that's something that the Slight Edge was like a reminder too. It's like look at the small things too. Like I don't know, like I seen a lot in that video, in that little 4-minute video. It gave me like a
Good. And I'm gonna share this with you, this whole presentation, so that way whenever you need that again, you could watch that video.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling everybody about it. I'm like, girl, you need to watch the Slight
Yes.
Edge.
Yes. And they need to join the challenge too. If they in that similar situations, feel free to tell people. I mean, it's free, you know.
Yeah, I'm honestly probably gonna drop this in my group on Facebook and tell them like, even though we're a weekend, you can still join.
Yeah, because it's still,
Y'all need
you
to
still can get a lot done in like, what, 90 days? Like, yeah,
93. Yeah.
you can get a lot done in 30 days. So even if they join late, like,
Yeah, it only
but
takes what 21 days to form a habit. So
yeah, yeah. Okay, so now that before I wrap up, I want to hear, how are you feeling after today's check-in? And it doesn't have to be emotions listed on this screen, but these are just emotions that I've decided to list. So how do you feel like you're feeling after this?
I definitely feel encouraged.
Okay.
Like I feel encouraged. I feel I got this word wheel. I'm gonna look at my word wheel so I can have words because I can't think of the word, but it's just like I definitely feel like very just excited. Like I'm just like, oh, like after 1 week, I'm starting to see how my consistency is just playing off. And it's just like it just feels good. So like I really feel good about this. Like even the things that I've heard about coaching, like the things that you've talked about so far, I'm just like, oh, so that's why my friend can see me doing this. Cause it's like, okay, I do this, I literally do this already. So it's like, let me get this structure. So this is just exciting, like for myself, for my friends, because they are my test people. I do everything on them. I'm like, yeah, y'all need to try this. Y'all need to try this. So this is just like, yeah, I feel motivated. I feel like, I feel like I'm gonna have a great Saturday.
You better.
I am. Oh, and my friend having a girls' night tonight. I can't wait to tell them about this.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling inspired. I'm feeling inspired too, and I'm feeling supported because
Yes.
of the way that you just kind of like I told you my goals and you gave me some feedback on things I can do and ways that you're willing to help me with my goals. So I feel excited and then I feel supported by you and I feel energized and I'm just like eager to see like at the end of the 100 days what all we've accomplished. Like
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited about that. All
Yeah.
right. So I do want to thank you for coming. And I encourage you to like continue to do the prompts and continue like in if there are people who you feel like, oh, if they were in this, you would feel even more supported. Like you could use this or you can use inviting other people who might wrap around you and give you even more of the support that you need. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then y'all could kind of support each other or whatever. So, but thank you for coming, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week and
Yes.
connecting
Thank
with
you for
you.
having me.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.